My name is Paul Luna, and you're tuned into F&B Lunacy. I am here today with Good Food Truck Chef owner, Jessamine Starr. What is important today in your life, Chef?
Because of the pandemic, things definitely changed. In 2020, the truck went out 13 times, which it would be normal for it to go out 13 times in 2 weeks. And I had to dramatically change the business. Again, things happen. You got to act fast and work on your feet. And I did, and it worked. I did a delivery system, and I have a 1-seat restaurant and pantry box, all kinds of different things. And now things are getting back to normal. I have a full booked schedule in May. But I think because I got a year of things being a little slower, I found what's most important is that I can say no, that I don't have to do everything and work myself crazy, that it is okay to take time for yourself and say no. And sometimes saying no doesn't even hurt your bottom line. So it's not,
When it comes to menu creativity, do you decide? Does your husband decide? Is it a collaboration?
When the business started, it was definitely my husband and I together. And I would say probably for the last 6 years, it's mine. And definitely the last, probably the last 6 years, it's all me. He will step in if I need an extra hand, but it's a one-woman show, and that's me. He's doing other things. He helped with all the craziness of getting it started when our kids were little, and now it's mine.
How old are the kids today?
17 and almost 12. Yeah. I mean, we've had the truck for 11 years. So that almost 12-year-old was a couple months old.
Quite the success.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I will say the first 5 years, most people would have quit. We didn't make a dime. I mean, the fact that we just continued just shows that we were both stupid and stubborn. And yeah, there were times where I know we probably lost money instead of made money. Definitely.
What was your first job?
Me ever?
Yes.
I worked in the stock room of an old lady gift shop. And then I had lots of kitchen jobs right after that. It was like that, and then all the prep kitchen jobs.
Fill in the blank. Owning a food truck is
challenging.
Chef, why a food truck?
For me, I think because it is it's flexible. It is not a restaurant that is open 7 days a week or 5 days a week that you have to staff and go to. And it is, if I don't want to do, if we're going on vacation and there's 2 weeks I'm going to take off, I'm responsible for nothing. The food truck parks, and that's that.
Who was your inspiration?
Probably going to Philadelphia and New York and eating really great things off the street.
Chefs who have inspired you? Or?
I love David Chang. He's, I listen to a lot of his podcasts, and he just cracks me up. I really like the combination of really caring about your craft and kind of also being irreverent about it. And I really love a no rules kind of chef that knows the rules and breaks the rules. That I'm all for that.
What does playing with yourself mean to you?
I really love being creative and brainstorming. And I've joked that if I could have any job in the world, it would just be to be a brainstormer for people that come to me with whatever problem it is and just like spit out all the different things I could think of. And that to me is being creative. Just give me a problem and let me see, probably 90% of them are going to be crap, but that 10% is golden and exciting. And let's try everything and fail at half of them and see what happens.
This is a very odd question, but a simple one for you, I would believe. A chef, do you consider yourself a lunatic?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I opened a 1-seat restaurant. That's ridiculous. It makes no sense at all.
By the way, can you talk to us about ETT?
Yes, it's et. That is the 1-seat restaurant. I opened it at the beginning of the pandemic. I read an article in, I think, Travel and Leisure about a chef in Sweden that had opened a 1-seat restaurant in the meadow by his yard. And it was, and there was a basket on a string that went from his window out to the meadow. And it was really for, so that older people could have access to food. It was on a bus line, easy to get to. I think it has become much more, people want to eat there, of course. But I just love that idea of one person eating and just enjoying the food. It doesn't really matter what the food is, just that's all you're doing. And we happen to live in a beautiful setting in the woods along a creek. And as soon as I read that, I picked up this little desk and walked around and was like, where could I do that? And found a perfect spot down by the creek. And then the whole family made a trail through the woods. It's like 1/3 of a mile, kind of meandering around. And then I just kind of put it out there and said, et, which means one in Swedish, a shout out to the inspiration, has opened. I love foraging. So everything's super hyper local, and it's opened at the beginning of the pandemic. So I had a lot more time. And then it went viral. It's charming. And it really is just for one person. It is more about what I enjoyed about the pandemic is that everything slowed down and became so much more quieter. And I find that very comforting, especially in a time of kind of other chaos, so much chaos, that the fact that everything did become quiet and slow. And I always find nature as my therapy and a great relief. So I just wanted to encourage that to other people, to say, you can come to my restaurant and sit and eat, or you can grab an apple or a sandwich and just go outside and sit there force yourself not to look at your phone or listen to anything for 30 minutes or an hour or 4 hours, and you'll feel better. And so I opened it really just as a fun, crazy project, is not to make money. Certainly it's pay or trade what you want. And I only serve like 6 people a month. So I think it's just me pushing my philosophy of calmness, and it's been fun making food that's beautiful and, has all the local it's a good reason for me to go out and pick roadside flowers and find mushrooms and feed them to people. And it's one of those things that it's like giving a gift where it's way more exciting to give the gift than to get the gift. And every time somebody comes, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, because if I was doing that, I would be super excited, but it's coming to a close. I'm doing it for a full year. I started May last year, and I'm going to pretty much finish May this year. There's a few, because it is pay or trade what you want. I'm going to have a few things where people can, like, it'll be in auctions and things like that. It'll be something that people can donate money and get a seat there, but it'll pretty much be over May 1.